Hello, everyone. As everyone's starting to join and getting ready for the webinar, we'll give it a minute or two for everyone to get settled in. But feel free to say hi in the chat, where you're from, and just tell everyone who you are. So, and welcome to the Contact Manager webinar. We're looking forward to tell you more about it. There we go. Got some people from Chile and France and Africa and Cape Town, Sweden. Okay, I think we're almost ready to get started. There's one or two people who wants to join. Mozambique, Florida, welcome everyone. Thank you very much for making this time work. I know it's early in some parts of the world. Argentina. Okay, it's 2 minutes past. Let's get things moving. Thank you everyone for joining the session today. We haven't done a webinar like this in quite a while, and so I wanted to kick it off and just talk a little bit about kind of where things are. I don't have a lot of time because there's really good juicy stuff that comes after me, but I wanted to just let you know about a couple of things that we're busy with. Obviously, I think you can see that we're working on a contact manager. That's the launch webinar that we're doing today. But in the greater scheme of things, there's so much happening in travel, in technology, across the world. And we're basically on a daily basis trying to figure out what is the right thing to build, what is the next steps for the travel industry, and we play with all the latest technologies to try and figure out how does that fit into your worlds to add the most value that we possibly can, and how it aligns with kind of the vision that we've set out for Wetu in the greater scheme of things. And I think from a travel perspective, it's really interesting to see how almost before COVID, there's a story that's continuing on. There's a chapter that's now being rewritten where the travel trade is really, kind of showing how incredibly valuable it is to be human, to show up for customers, to show up for travelers, and really to have been there when times are tough. And we can see how it has just become more and more important for everybody in the travel trade to use technology to kind of do the best that we can. I think that the travel world is expecting so much from travel agents, and the agents are expecting so much from DMCs and operators, and everybody in between is kind of in a hybrid role. So it's incredibly important for these tools to evolve with the needs that we're seeing in the travel industry. Everybody using ChatGPT and the latest web technologies and mobile technologies, everything's evolving, and it creates an expectation from a customer point of view of what they want and how they want their tech to behave. So, one of the big steps that we want to take today is just introduce a way to work with contacts within the trip and travel context. It's a small step forward for us, but it's part of a much bigger kind of path that we want to take Wetu on. And a lot of the underlying pieces that we needed to get here was considered from this bigger mega trend perspective, understanding where the industry is going, understanding where tech is going, and plotting this path. So I'd love to get your feedback. I think it's such an important session for us to get back into engaging in and building a way forward. And specifically today, one of the key features of what we want to do, and I think what everybody in the travel industry does at a daily basis is, you work with suppliers, you work with content and with a lot of logistics, numbers, and you're trying to make sense of it all so that ultimately we can provide the best experience to customers. And our job is to make sure that how these systems and different players within the industry work together is systematic, it's organized, it's seamless, and it's easy, so that you don't have to do all the busy work of admin and trying to figure out how these systems work together, but that you can focus on dealing with the customers, creating the most impactful and awesome trips that you can for them out there. And that's what we are passionate about. The stories that we hear about consultants who can now really double down, understand the destination, understand suppliers, so that that experience that they can provide to travelers are richer, more impactful, and something that people can talk about for days because they're not bogged down with all of the admin that sits behind the system. So I know there's a lot to talk about when it comes to tech, and I'm passionate about it. I'm really excited about it. I think there's so much that we can look forward to in terms of with AI, and I think specifically the role the data plays within AI and how those two play together. And I think how we connect it so that it can work for you and bring that human element to the forefront is exactly where I think things are going. AI and data and connecting all the players in the travel industry together just enable a next level interaction for humans and makes you incredibly efficient, and gives you the opportunity to connect. So I'm going to leave you with those pieces of just where we're thinking about where things are going, where technology is, how we've thought about understanding what is needed for the next piece. I don't think there's a lot of scripts that was written in the past that will help us in the future. We need to almost learn from the past, but rethink the current and then build the future. So that's why I think this is a very good next step for us into venture into helping you manage your customer information. So I'll end there and hand over to Barbara Brand. For those who haven't met her yet, she's been with Wetu for a while. Hard at work in the back, but actually most passionate about customers and customer experience. Kind of listening to everything that works, everything that doesn't work. I mean, she always complains that she wants to get in front of her customers. She wants to engage with you. She wants to build relationships. So this is your moment to get to know her. And then hopefully after this session, you will reach out and be comfortable to chat to her even more. So over to you, Barbara.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Neethling. I think that was a great introduction to the launch of Contact Manager. And absolutely, Neethling's right. I'm constantly talking about how I would love to get to customers and very excited to have conversations. But at the moment, we are really excited to show you Contact Manager to talk more about the features. So on the call today, you have myself and Simone, who is the product manager for Contact Manager and has worked very hard with the team in getting everything ready for launch, talking to customers, understanding, the vision, what the voices that that you guys have been sharing. And so today we are going to be really just diving into the features that we're sharing. And this is just the start of a journey which I've heard lots about, and I'm really excited for what this is going to mean for everybody's businesses and show you guys a little bit more about the problems that Contact Manager is going to be solving. So to get started, we're going to talk a little bit about, your traveler's data that lives everywhere. And I can imagine that some of you have got emails with some information, you're getting notifications, you're getting WhatsApp messages, you're getting phone calls, you've got a calendar reminder here, you've got a keep note somewhere else, you've got a task list. If you're like me, you've got paper with a note on it on your desk, and you just have to try and keep track of everything. And this is exactly why we are launching Contact Manager. It is your traveler's home base, your operational home base, and it's where we are letting you create and store all of your stuff in one place. So I'm really, really excited to hand over to Sim, who really is deeply embedded into everything that Contact Manager involves and entails. And she's going to walk you through the problem statements, the features, and get into what you really have to look forward to. So over to you, Sim.
Thanks, Barbara. Awesome. Hi, everyone. I am really excited to chat to everything Contact Manager today. But I thought before we dive in, I want to just take a quick moment and reflect on how we arrived at this first iteration of our product, and then we can get started and get into the good pieces. Okay, so over the past couple of months, we've had the privilege of speaking with many of our clients, including those who are joining us today on this webinar. And these conversations highlighted the many frustrations that travel professionals face on a daily basis. And one of those frustrations being that you need a dedicated space within Wetu to capture and manage all of your traveler information. So from this, we set out to build something that was more intentional, a single source of truth for your contact information. So a place where your traveler data can live, it can be easily accessed without any of that added friction that Barbara was speaking to in the beginning. So when we asked a lot of you, what's the one thing we could build today that would simplify your workflows? Contacts was the #1 response. And so we set out to bring in a dedicated space just for you to do just that. Okay. So this is just the beginning, as Neethling also mentioned in the beginning. What we have launched is the foundation. It's a starting point for something that is going to be more collaborative, more intuitive for you, and even more aligned with how you actually work in your day-to-day. Something else we wanted to flag, as you can see that we have a 1.1K. So we have just over 1,000 contacts that have already been created in the system since we launched on the 22nd last week. So what we are seeing from these numbers is that these contacts are being added primarily from the itinerary builder, meaning that adding contacts is organically part of your day-to-day process. And so this just supports your current behavior, and it adds that you don't have to leave your itinerary builder and it just helps reduce that context switching that is happening currently. So this just further reinforces our insights that the contact creation belongs in itinerary building flows, while that contact manager service that we're going to be speaking about today is that central place for the deeper relationship management to take place. Cool. So let's go into something that's quite familiar with everyone, fragmented systems, of course. You're juggling multiple systems, you've got traveler details in one place, notes in another, and an itinerary somewhere else, and you end up needing to click through all of these multiple tabs. It's time-consuming, frustrating, and it's easy for a lot of those little details to just slip through the cracks. So when systems are fragmented, the relationships that you have with your customers and your travelers are the ones that suffer the most. You lose that time and that context and the ability to respond with the care that you so deeply want to give. Contact Manager was designed to help restore that gap. So giving you just a single reliable home base for your traveler relationships. So we wanted to give you, our users, this place to capture and manage all of your traveler contacts quickly, seamlessly, and inside the Wetu platform. So if we take a look at this in action, let's dive in. You'll see that you can start capturing your personal details for this traveler. You'll have your traveler form that populates, entering in all of their personal details, any preferences that this traveler has. So activities, interests, dietary requirements, passport, ID if required, and then you can simply save. Once you've saved that contact, you'll have a detailed view. You can also upload documents. You can add a trip to this contact, add notes, add tasks, but we're going to jump into each of these pieces in more detail. Let's go. Okay, so if we take a look at our document space, you can easily here organize and store all of your documents that you need pertaining to a specific traveler. So you simply drag and drop, or you can upload a document, add the document name, add in some easy reference tags so you can easily see what this document pertains to. And then you can also add in an expiry date if relevant. So if this document is expiring at a certain time, add that in. If not, you can leave it out. With documents, you can also, once it's been uploaded, you can download to view the document, or you can just simply remove it when it's no longer relevant. And we do allow multiple types of documents to be uploaded, as you can see on the screen. And then let's move into the next one. So you've got your details, you've got your documents, and now you're moving over to the trip side. So what's really cool about our trips section is that your pop-up modal is a search modal. So it's searching all of the personal itineraries within your Wetu account, and it's itineraries across the board. So it's every single personal itinerary created by every single consultant or user within that account. So you've got search by itinerary name, the start date, and reference. And then once you have an itinerary that you would like to add to this traveler contact, you simply just add it, and it then connects that traveler contact to that itinerary. What's also really cool about the itinerary that pulls through is you'll notice that the status from your itinerary browser is now also reflecting in the trip side. So once you change the status in the itinerary builder, that status then reflects. So if you've got something that is quoted, or if you have something that is booked, once you make that change, it will reflect. Awesome. All right. So another pain point that came up often was the lack of personalization that you could add within Wetu. So we know that travelers aren't just spreadsheets of data. They are the people with the preferences, the stories, and the journeys to note and remember. And so we wanted to give you a space to help personalize your interactions by making it easy to capture and access all of those smaller human details that build those relationships. So with notes, what we've done, Barbara, thanks, is we've given you the ability to add a note and then what needs to be noted. So you can use notes to jot down what your traveler's communication style is. Do they prefer email over phone calls? What is their destination preference or their decision-making style, or maybe a payment preference that you want to note down? You can also use the notes section for internal team handling. So if you're assigning or handing this traveler over to another consultant within your organization, what do they need to know before picking up this traveler? And this is that space where you can add that note specifically to that traveler that you have logged. And then additionally with tasks, what we've done is we've given you the ability to quickly add any to-dos that need to be checked off of your list. So these tasks are stored at a contact level, and it just helps you quickly capture what needs to be done and allowing you to quickly complete each item. So tasks can be logged, the description, you can add in a due date for that task. And then once the task has been completed, you can simply check it off the list and that task will move to completed and into your done column. So also think worth noting is that tasks can also be used as that internal collaboration piece where you can add tasks for a team member that maybe will be picking up this contact to further manage it. Awesome. Okay. Another pain point that came up was around the need to constantly duplicate information within multiple systems. So when your data flows seamlessly, your team does too. And this is a direct quote from one of our user interviews that we did. You shouldn't need to add these travelers twice. So all contacts that you add to your contact manager should be accessed and used in your itinerary builder. So if we jump to our itinerary builder section, awesome. So what we're seeing here is you can take a look when you navigate through to your personal itineraries and you select edit. Our traveler details section where you can start managing the travelers is simply start typing out the traveler name. So two things are happening. If this traveler exists in your contact manager because you've loaded it, it's going to pull through as a contact from your contact manager that you can easily select and add to your itinerary. If this contact does not exist and you're simply just adding it to the itinerary, we give you the option to quickly sync this traveler as a free text all the way through to your contact manager. So it creates that contact for you in real time while you are using the itinerary builder. If you wish not to sync the contact through to the contact manager, that's also fine. You can simply uncheck that checkbox and it will just keep it as a free text traveler. It won't sync to anything, but it'll still be visible on all of your outputs. Awesome. So we can see that contact now pulled through. Okay. Collaboration is also a very important piece at Wetu and something that we wanted to ensure we built in from the very beginning. So the contacts that you create will automatically be assigned to you as the user that is signed in, but you can also easily assign any contact to anyone within your team. So once you've assigned, you can then easily search and find all of those contacts pertaining to that specific user. So let's take a look at what that looks like. Awesome. So we see here we have Susan. We're going to open Susan as contact, edit it, change the assigned user to Barbara. We'll go ahead and save that. We can then navigate back to our contact list. We'll choose Vainant as our next traveler. We're going to edit this contact. We're going to reassign Vainant to Temba. So now we've got Barbara and Temba that have contacts assigned to them. Once we go back to our list view, we can quickly, easily search who is assigned to Barbara, who is assigned to Temba, so you know who's managing which traveler contact within your contact manager. So this just gives you and your team that ability to view, edit, and manage contacts together so that information is always shared and always accessible. Awesome. And then we also have our importing of your client details. So we've gone through that process of manually creating a single contact, but if you don't want to do that manual entry over and over time and time again, if you have an existing list of contacts, a CSV file of over 1,500 contacts, you can simply just bulk import that by using the bulk importer feature that we have right within the list view of the contact manager. So if we navigate there, it's a two-step process. We've tried to make it as simple and seamless as possible. Drag and drop your CSV in or upload. All of the advanced import fields are preset to a CSV file. Your next step is just to map the fields in your CSV to the fields within Contact Manager, and then you can confirm your imports and it'll be successful. And then when you navigate back to your list of contacts, all of those contacts have now been imported. And then you can go further and start adding in any of the personalized details that you want for each of those contacts. Cool. Okay, so the biggest question is where are we going from here? And we've alluded to a lot of things in the beginning of this webinar. And so we just wanted to touch on that we have intentionally kept this first release small and focused. And that's not because we're thinking small, but it's because we're wanting to build with purpose, and we want this product to grow with you, our clients, shaped by your feedback and your use cases and your evolving needs. So as technology changes and the industry changes, so do your needs, and we want to keep up with you. So a glimpse at what we are building towards is, first and foremost, is a collaborative development space. So we want to hear from you, our users, and we want you to be a part of the building journey with us so that we can co-create this product and evolve it into whatever it needs to be for you together, so we can support your workflows. We know that we can't build a travel specific CRM without your input. So we want to encourage you to please go and explore the Contact Manager, use it in the multiple ways that we've touched on today, and then reach out. Our product and design team is ready to chat to you and start moving quickly. Following on from that, the next thing that we are already exploring are the pieces that are going to tie everything together. So we have started exploring some features, and a lot of these were suggestions that were provided by many of our users that we spoke to. And the first is just richer traveler profiles. So it's giving you that ability to group your contacts into families, couples, travel parties, whatever grouping that is needed, whether it's on a one-to-one level, whether it's on a larger group level. This way that you can see the relationship and the context at like a glance, but also it will streamline the process and reduce the manual effort of just having that one-to-one or single contact piece. These groups can then also be associated to trips. So trips will expand into a much bigger entity. A trip will be, in the sense, housing all of the traveler information and all of the more important pieces that make up that trip. So what's included, the documents, quoting, invoicing, you name it. So all of those things that are included in a trip, that trip will then automatically feed into what will come next, which is a pipeline view. So allowing you to track your traveler's journey from start to finish. So we're thinking of that inquiry level all the way through to traveled, and where that trip is sitting within the journey, and all of the items that need to be checked off in order for it to move across each of those lanes within the pipeline. And obviously included in all of that, I say obviously, but it might not be, is light automations and workflows and notifications that will be built in to help you stay ahead and reduce the manual efforts, which is key. So each of these features that we do want to start building out with your assistance is in the service of one goal that we have, and that goal is helping you, our customers. We want to deliver more thoughtful and efficient and human travel experiences. Even though we know technology is advancing, that human touch is still very much important. And again, as we've said throughout, is that we want to invite you along this journey. So please, 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 we want to hear from you and get involved. Thank you. I think we have our product question section, Barbara.
Yeah, so we have quite a few questions that have come in, Sim, which I'll read out to you, and then you can answer them as we go.
Yes.
Okay, so first up, we have one question from Max, and Max is curious to know, when will Contact Manager be available on the dashboard?
It is available, Max. Contact Manager is available on the dashboard. It would depend on the type of account that you have. Can we confirm?
Yeah, so let us know in the chat, Max, what account you have, and we can reach out.
So Contact Manager is available for our operator accounts on Light, Premium, and Enterprise. So it should be there. There'll be a cute little new badge that is next to contacts on your navigational bar on the dashboard.
Fantastic. So next question up is from Philip. Philip would like to know, are you guys perhaps also looking to let us load contracts and rates in order to pull through to let us build the proposal directly on Wetu? This will allow us to quote more accurately on Wetu.
Is this for the quoting?
This is for quoting, yes.
Yes, so that is absolutely part of our bigger vision. And in this first version, we are just validating the foundations, but we are already exploring how these elements are going to fit into our next phase. And so that these experiences can be more seamless for you. So they will be coming in.
And I think that speaks to Bettina's question of, is it planned to add the possibility to enter the invoice address of the client?
The invoice address?
Yeah.
Within the contact form?
Within the contact form.
Yeah. So with this first iteration, our focus was more on the fundamentals, so getting all of that right. But that's definitely something that we haven't heard before and we would like to explore more. So these are the sort of suggestions or feedback and questions that we want to hear so that we can start expanding the current list of things that we know we need to deliver next.
Great. And I think within Contact Manager, you also have a special request section and spaces to add notes. So until those features are built in, capture it via the notes section. You can add like a quick little address option to keep everybody in the loop of what it is. So Sim, next, Leon would like to know, can we run a report with a list of all the current due tasks with sort options?
Love that idea, Leon. It just shows already like how you're thinking about just getting the richer detail in the task section. Not yet. It isn't something that is available right now, but it is task is definitely something that we are exploring with what is coming next. So it's definitely something that we can add to the list. Yeah.
Leon has quite a few nice ideas about tasks, because he's got another question of, can we import a list of tasks for each customer?
Yes, incredible. Love that as well. So Leon, I would actually love to connect with you on anything task related.
And then Joan has a question. If I already have a CRM, is it possible to integrate it with the new contact module of Wetu?
It is not currently, no. We have spoken about it. It's not a difficult thing to do, but it would still need a lot of validating and discovery work on our side. At the moment, it's not possible. And we have just kept this super foundational for now.
Awesome. And Sim, tell us, Diana wants to know, can customers see in any way what's written in their profile?
Customers, but I'm assuming
travelers.
Yes, no, not at all. So this is all happening within your Wetu account. So the traveler or customer will not have access to that. But if that is a question in terms of maybe is there at a point where you can start collaborating with the traveler and customers, that is also something that is on our radar that we do want to look into in the future.
Great. There's a lot of great questions coming up. So another one, can you link or sync Wetu to active campaigns, contacts and info?
No, not yet. Not yet at this point. But that is something that is more on that marketing enablement side of things. And right now we are more focused on the sales enablement side of the contact manager. So it is something that we are aware of and we would like to explore more with our customers and users.
Awesome. And tell us, is it possible to add emails from Outlook into Wetu?
No, not yet. So no email integrations at this point. Love the idea. It is something that has come up quite a bit from our users in our initial discovery phase, and we do realize that it will make the process more seamless and easy when you have that connection piece. But we do need to do a bit more exploring on that, and we would love to keep everyone involved and on that journey with us when we do.
But I think that's another way you can use the features that already exist is if you're in your Outlook and you want to capture an email, you're able to download that email and then upload it into the document section so that you have it available there.
Yeah, I guess as a workaround for now, sure, it can be downloaded and added as a document. Otherwise into the notes section.
And then a question that's also come up, is our database secure?
Yes, love that question. So your data is stored securely, and it is definitely in line with our best practices at Wetu. We are committed to protecting data and just ensuring that it's only accessible to users within your Wetu account. We are also always actively implementing measures that will progressively strengthen how we manage and protect your data as we transition. So those same security measures that are currently in place remain with Contact Manager.
Awesome. And then Vicky had a question about an experience she's had of I've uploaded contacts in the Contact Manager and they're not pulling through to the itinerary. So Vicky, what I would say is reach out to us at success@wetu.com and we can set up a call to look at what you've done and explore some of the workflow to troubleshoot why that has happened.
Something maybe just to highlight on that, it has come up with a customer before, is if you are trying to pull through a contact that has been loaded in your Contact Manager into a new itinerary, you would first need to add an accommodation and save that itinerary in order for those contacts to start populating in the drop down. So a contact can be added to a brand new itinerary once the itinerary has been saved. So perhaps something for Vicky to try. If not Vicky, then as Barbara said, please do reach out.
And I think the tasks is getting everybody really excited because another question that's come up from Tash is it possible that the due date of tasks are set as reminders as such to come up when it's due?
Yes. So that's exactly what is on our radar for what's coming next, Tash. So we have something that we're looking at with notifications and transactional emails. So when that is due, you will get notified and it won't just be an in-platform thing where you have to go in and check. You will actually get notified. And that we are working on for our next iteration. So it's coming.
Then Philip would like to know a little bit more about where Wetu's going. That is it perhaps in the future that we can also perhaps communicate via Wetu from the profile to our suppliers?
Oh. From which profile? From the traveler profile to our suppliers?
I think Neethling can.
Can I jump in on this one?
Yes, absolutely.
100%. Go for it.
Yeah, I love that question.
Yes.
I think it's part of when we say connect. There's a lot of different connections that could take place. One of them that we wanted to talk about and that we're trying to solve with the Contact Manager is the connection between you and the traveler, the end consumer. But there's other parts of Wetu where we are working incredibly hard and putting a lot of effort into the underlying data structures so that suppliers and whoever works with them, buyers of product and product can all work with each other, and we're finding ways to connect each other in kind of productive ways. It doesn't mean just to chat. Sometimes it's a notification, but the most important element when we're looking at this is that the different people who need to connect needs to be productive. It's not a chat space. It's not a kind of a social space. It's a place where your businesses can work together in a networked way. So very exciting space. And yes, absolutely, it is something that we're looking at. And Philip, I'm definitely going to reach out to you to chat to you about that more. But absolutely part of our vision, part of the passion that we have for the industry and the way that it connects to just make awesome things happen. Just another question that about AI that maybe I can jump in on while I'm busy. That relates to AI to search for destinations and suppliers and those kind of things. I think that ties into the relationships that you have with your suppliers and how you manage those relationships. How we link you up with destinations and how suppliers work within those destinations and how we are able to help you make the most out of a destination by, surfacing some kind of information, highlighting suppliers in certain stages of an itinerary building stage or a trip. All those things become so much more possible now with AI. And we're tracking and recording all of those data points that you have with your suppliers, so that we can almost highlight the suppliers that would best fit a certain trip for a certain time for a certain traveler that you're working on. So absolutely, we've done a huge amount of work on AI in the back end. We're trying a lot of things in just integrating with LLMs and from a chat point of view. But we've also built a couple of models that lives in Wetu itself, so we can give you a lift that you can't get just out there normally with working with chat in general, because I think that's really important to just bolster your data that you own. That's your relationships, and that should be your power in going out there into the marketplace. So hopefully that answers it. There's a lot to chat about, but a different conversation that I'm looking forward to have as well.
Awesome. Thanks, Neethling. I think we can do 2 more questions and then we can move on. There's lots of questions that are coming up and we won't have time to get through all of them. But let's go through some of them. I think have been answered in multiple ways, but one from Madeleine: since we're referring to Contact Manager and tasks for open clients, will you also have some options for tasks, etc., for not open clients? If I'm in the beginning stages of working with a client, I might not be able to add them into Contact Manager yet, but still have tasks, etc., I would like to link.
So more of a lead and not a confirmed yes. So love that, absolutely. And it's something that has come up regularly in discussions with our designer as well on the best way in which to do that. So we would definitely love input, because there's definitely a space and room for us to do that. Just figuring out the best way, but also allowing you the autonomy in how you can customize that space within your pipeline of how it will pull through. Yes, absolutely.
Fantastic. And then from James is, can we edit the contact source? We work closely with agents, and it would be helpful to track how many inquiries each agent sends.
Yes, so contact source is currently available on the contact form, and it is a pre-populated list. We have already since launch gotten a request from a lot of users asking if that can be customizable, that other section, so that they can add in their own type of contact source. And that is something that we are currently working on now in a sort of polish sprint with our team that we can release.
And then the last question for now, Sim, is, can you integrate a calendar where you can mark, for example, when the next follow-up mail or check-in call with a client should be made?
I love that as well. Also something that came up a lot in our discovery work, and it's still coming up to this day. It even comes up internally with our team that the calendar needs to be joined. And it also just shows how all of us are thinking about connecting those pieces together. And it is something that we do want to make available. It isn't available just yet, but we are exploring how to handle that, whether it's your existing calendar or the calendar that we have inside Wetu. So we are playing around with both of those options and seeing what works best, but we would definitely like to discuss it further with clients as well, just to validate the best use case and how it can fit into your workflows a bit better.
Awesome. Thank you. So I think we'll capture all the questions. If there aren't any questions that we have answered, please also feel free to reach out to us at either support@wetu.com or success@wetu.com, and our team will be able to answer them. We'll also take note of any that we haven't been able to address today. But the ultimate goal of what Contact Manager is here for is to give you time with your travelers and less time on admin. It's one central space where you're able to add notes, you're able to capture tasks and details together so that you can keep track of what your travelers are doing, what they're telling you, and all those little nuances. So this Contact Manager is really going to give you personalization at scale, where you're really able to then build stronger traveler relationships, because you're able to keep notes of those tiny little things that they tell you. You are going to have a lot more of like a single source of truth, where you can upload your documents and this is Wetu's where you go, your Contact Manager, you're going to go to your contact, you're going to upload all of your stuff. It's your single source of truth, which we're really hoping is going to help organize and make things a lot simpler for you in your workflows. So some of the experiences that we are excited to share with you and to look out for leading into 2026. One, we've already got live chat support, and our team is available live to chat with you, to answer questions. So if you've got questions, shoot them our way, ask our team. We're there to support you. And coming in 2026, we are also going to do a lot more embracing of video content. So we want to empower everybody who uses Wetu with little video snippet training materials of what the features do, how you can use them, so that we really can empower you to make the most out of Wetu and showcase features to you that maybe you're not aware of or something you're curious about. So watch the space coming forward. We've got videos coming your way. And we are also actively working at redoing our knowledge base. So we are looking at how the knowledge base is designed and how we can rebuild it so that it's quick to navigate and also accessible through a live AI chatbot within the system. So again, we're actively thinking about how we can improve a lot of workflows with AI, how we can create really good support. But of course, if you don't want to chat to a chatbot, our beautiful humans will be there too. So you can just be like, I want to chat to a human, and they will be there as well. Then another thing is our team is actively working at building dashboards and getting all of our client data together so we can have a single snapshot of itineraries that have been created, what features you're using, what features you aren't using. And we have customer success managers who are really looking at these details and analyzing accounts, and we are so excited to share your performance with you. So if you really want to know, like, how am I doing, what am I not making use of, what could I do more with, what are the features that maybe you've noticed I haven't been using, let us know. Reach out to us at success@wetu.com, and we will set up time to dive into your account with you, look at what we're seeing in the stats, and help you get the most out of what you're investing in. And then going forward, also in 2026, we are excited to be doing monthly webinars where we will be showcasing features. So this comes up to one of the questions that's also been asked about, are we going to have new feature discussions and launches and things like that? You're going to hear from us a lot. So, be prepared. 2026, here we come. You're going to hear from Wetu every month, and we're going to be telling you about the things we're working on, what we're seeing are the top tips that are coming out, how to improve your workflows. We're really, really excited about really connecting and showcasing just the incredible power of what Wetu allows you to do. So looking forward to that. And then just a big thank you to everybody who has made time to join us here today. We had quite a great attendance, and we're still sitting at high attendance right at the end, which is wonderful. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being here. We so look forward to collaborating and connecting and talking more. So we can never talk enough. So please do reach out to us, and if you've got questions, send them our way. But thank you so much for joining. It's been wonderful to have you here, and I look forward to meeting a whole lot of you guys soon.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Bye.